Yo doing, I'm Z here again, guys. Today I'm here making a video response to SpartanJohns, and the video was, or I believe is, what are your thoughts on prepping? And I thought his video was pretty squared away, had good, I agreed with a lot of what he said. There's only one thing I didn't really agree with, and that was when he said that I was a prepper. I honestly don't consider myself to be a prepper. I guess in other people's eyes, maybe I am. What I consider myself more than anything would be a traditionalist. And a country boy. And a kid who grew up on a farm. And as a traditionalist and as a, a farm boy, what people call prepping is just what, growing up, we called everyday life. That's just what we did, We lived out in the country on a farm, and honestly, we were fairly self-sufficient. Did we go to the grocery store and stuff? Yes, of course we did. Did our grandparents, and even my parents when they were younger? Not so much. They were a lot more self-reliant than the way I grew up. But even when I grew up, my parents always, and maybe because I grew up in the late 70s and there's kind of a, an economic depression going on then. Not a huge one, but there was a depression. Maybe that's why. And then when the 80s hit, maybe that kind of died down. But growing up, my mom always canned beans and jellies and jams and corn and peaches, and they always used to can food. I personally don't can food right now. I'd like to. I don't honestly have the time. I should kind of make time to do it, and I'd love to learn how to do it. And honestly, it's those kind of preparations are just common sense. It's things you should do. Now, whether or not you want to can your own food or jar your own food or go out and buy a bunch of canned foods, personally, I think it's better to know how to do it yourself, which is why I want to learn how to do it. But it's just common sense, because you don't need an end of the world, apocalyptic, zombies attacking situation to benefit from being prepared or being ready. And that's what I consider myself. I consider myself prepared or ready for almost anything. But I don't consider myself a prepper. To me, a prepper has an underground bunker full of cases and cases and cases of MREs and ammo boxes and, stuff like that. I don't have that. I do have some MREs. I do have some boxes of ammo. I have several firearms. I got a good bit of gear. Maybe I'm a gear junkie more than I am a prepper. But all the things I have, I use. I keep a bug out bag, but that's because I live within 3 miles of a nuclear reactor. And if anything ever happened to that, I would have to bug out. I would have no choice. Stay there and die of radiation poisoning or get the hell out of Dodge. I think I'd be getting the hell out of Dodge. So I am, I guess, prepped for that scenario. As far as the end of the world type deal, if the world's going to end, we're going to be dead, so who cares? So there's no reason to prepare for the end of the world. Because if it's the end of the world, it's the end of the world. What I think might possibly be smart is maybe a loss of our modern technology. As a human society, pretty much throughout the world, not everywhere, we've all become very heavily reliant upon modern conveniences and modern technology. If the internet's down for 5 hours, people start freaking out. Oh my God, I can't get on the internet. The end of the world. You know, if the power goes out, an electrical storm for a day, people are freaking out. Oh, what are we going to do? You know, they're calling for a foot of snow. People start freaking out, running to the grocery store, buying groceries, you know. That is what I think is stupid. What I think is just normal behavior, or should be, is I should have enough stuff in my house, if that sort of situation comes to bear, that I don't need to run out to the grocery store, because I already have enough food in my house. Canned food, I have water, I have my toilet paper. I should already have that. That's just, to me, being a responsible father and a responsible husband. The preparations that I've made are mainly for my family's survival and convenience. And I'm not ready for a zombie apocalypse. You know, let's say that actually was something real that happened. I don't know how I'd fare, because I'm not that prepped. If it was just a small horde of zombies, yeah, I'm ready for them. You know, I think I'm ready to survive most natural disasters. And things like tornadoes, thunderstorms, hurricanes, blizzards, floods. That's what I'm prepared for. And the possible eventuality of having a nuclear incident near my home. That I need to make a little bit more preparation for. I'm a little underprepared for that. I mean, I can survive it, but I think to survive it, to steal Kylie from CKC's Knives motto for his thrive is, I'd rather thrive than survive in that situation. But I do believe it is really smart, and it's a responsibility of each and every person to be prepared. Everybody should have a bug out kit, in my opinion. A lot of people say they'll never bug out, but you can't say that, because you don't know what might happen. There are situations where you will have no choice but to bug out. And maybe you're not just bugging out of your home. Maybe you're bugging out of your work to get to your home. So to have that equipment and supplies in place in those sorts of eventualities, I think is important, you know. We don't know if, hey, what happens if, I don't know where I got cut off, so I'll just summarize. And my thoughts on prepping is it's a responsibility of each and every person to be prepared. If you're a mother, a father, a husband, a wife, if you have a family, you should be prepared. If it's just you and you don't have to worry about anybody else, then do what you want. But if you're responsible for other people and their well-being, I think being prepared, not being a prepper, you know, like the doomsday prepper guys, but just having enough set back to take care of your family, or maybe your neighbors, in a situation such as, you know, a natural disaster, some kind of power outage, a blackout, maybe one of those solar flares that take out the whole grid. You know, that would be the only life-changing thing I'd really be worried about. Economic collapse, that would be important to most people. But honestly, I mean, that's why I live in the country. I'm a country boy. I can hunt, I can fish, I can grow food. If that happened, I'll go back to the farm. And I'll go back to working on the farm and living off the farm. So we got plenty of food there. But You know, if I lived in a city, then I'd be prepping for an economic collapse. I would be putting a lot of food back, a lot of supplies like that. I don't know if I'd want to go outside in the city during an economic collapse. But I think being prepared is everyone's responsibility. It's one reason why I've started bushcrafting or survival, you know, honing my survival skills, my outdoor skills, my bushcrafting skills, is because I think that's important. It's important to know those things. I want to know how to make a fire from a bow drill, because you can prepare a bunch of matches, but what happens when those matches get wet, or you run out of matches, somebody steals your matches or your lighters? What are you going to do? How are you going to make a fire? How are you going to keep yourself and your family warm and cook food? This is a reason why I've started getting in more and more to the bushcrafting. You know, I've done this as a kid, but not to this level, because that's just what we did when we were kids. We grew up playing in the woods, playing in the creeks. But now I'm trying to get those skills to a higher level than what they were as a kid. You know, I think I follow more of the Boy Scout motto of always being prepared, rather than I'm a prepper and I'm preparing for something. I just want to always be prepared. Like SpartanJohns said, you know, he was in a situation, someone got cut, nobody had a Band-Aid. They needed to cut something, nobody had a knife. You know, except for SpartanJohns, you know, my buddy Dennis. He had those things in his backpack. He carries them around with him. So do I, you know. And I think that's just, how is that prepping? That's just what everyone should do. To me, that's normal. It's not out of the ordinary. It should be normal for everyone. What's abnormal to me is people relying on there being a convenience store right around the corner for them to go get their food, drinks, and medical supplies. That's abnormal for me. To rely on someone else or some other institution, to me, is really, really strange. If Darwin had anything to say about being survival of the fittest, those people aren't going to survive. It's people with the skills and know-how to live out here. Maybe we don't want to live out here. I love modern conveniences. But to be prepared to live out here, if you ever have to, that's their survival of the fittest there. I don't know, man. I'm not real good at making these types of videos, and I don't have any idea what got cut off, what I said before, so this might just be incoherent babble. But thank you all for watching. And, you know, if you're not ready, get ready, guys. You know, be prepared. Be ready. Maybe that's what I am. I'm ready. I'm ready for anything. I'm not a prepper. I'm a readier. I'm just ready, guys. I still got stuff to, you know, stuff that I need to learn. More than things that I need to buy, there are things I need to learn, skills I need to hone to be absolutely ready for anything. But right now, I think I could weather the storm better than 90% of the people out there, no matter what that storm is. Unless it's a full-on zombie apocalypse, I'm going to need more ammo. Sure, I could take them out with my knives, my axes, my chainsaw. But I'd rather shoot them. It's more fun. You don't get all the zombie guts on you. Unfortunately, I don't live in Romania, so I ain't got to worry about vampires. I guess I should tag some people for this. So, who am I going to tag about prepping? I'll tag 3 people. And let me tag my buddy Wingman115. I want to tag JhynesYahoo. I want to get a little international flavor in this. And I want to tag I gotta think who hasn't been tagged. I'm gonna tag ShadyMattUK. What do you guys think about prepping? What are your thoughts on prepping? Do you prep? And what are you prepping for? Like I said, I'm just prepping for the stuff that life is gonna throw at you. And yeah, I think the biggest thing is everything in moderation. Don't prep too much. Why spend a bunch of money prepping on something that might never happen? But be prepared, because some of those things will happen. All right, I'm Mike Z signing out. Peace.